where brevity just went sailing in the goddamn Bermuda Triangle.
Hello and welcome to episode 34 of Chet and John's Reassuringly Finite Gaming Playlist. My name is John Denton, with me as always, Chet Roivas.
Alright.
So you know the drill by now, 2 top 10 lists, played from 10 to 1, 10 being the game we played the least, 1 being the game we played the most. Let's not fuck around anymore, let's get on with it. Number 10.
Okay, right, my number 10 is FIFA 13 on the Nintendo Wii U. I was at EA this week and they had a lot of Wii U's there, so it was cool to play them again. I mean, I've played them before, but it was cool to get hands on again. I played an entire match, and unfortunately the developer wasn't there to talk to me, so I couldn't ask him all the questions I had. But it came out today that a lot of the features in FIFA 13 on PlayStation, Xbox, PC and whatever are not going to be in this version.
Right.
I couldn't tell. I was playing it and I was like, this doesn't feel right. It does feel more like FIFA 12 than FIFA 13.
Okay.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, it was interesting to play because it was the American build, so it had all the ESPN branding on it.
Oh yeah.
Which was quite interesting, I suppose. And yeah, actually visually it didn't quite look up to snuff. It looked slightly sort of pixelate is not the right word. Do you know how games look when they're that you play them on a CRT, an old pre-HD TV?
Yeah.
It looked like that ever so slightly. There was just pixely, as I said, it's the wrong word, but it didn't quite look up to snuff. But I overheard that it's a 3 to 4 month old build, so that's fine. Right. I shouldn't really have mentioned it because there's all these features using the tablet which I didn't get. I mean, while you're playing, you see, you know, the pitch. The thing that's normally on the bottom of the screen is on the tablet, but there's loads more to it than that. I just didn't see it.
Okay.
But yeah, very good.
Okay. Cool. I don't really have anything to say about that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. FIFA 13 on the Wii U.
Ultimate Team's not on it though, by the way.
Oh wow.
Bit of a shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
who's buying Wii U to play FIFA, really?
Exactly. And launch ports are always like this, so
Yeah,
people making out like it's the worst thing.
People just want to get angry sometimes.
True that.
Yeah. My number 10 is a game called Kumo Lumo on the iPhone. I've only played it briefly. You've heard of it, yeah?
Yes, I have, yeah.
The little, you're a little cloud, and
yeah.
You can move the cloud with one hand, and you can spin the world with the other hand, or you can use the same hand if you're that way. And then you seem to, I mean, like I say, I've literally played this for a few seconds today. You tap the cloud and you rain on trees, and then I think that produces more clouds, you get more rain, and kill the little baddies and stuff. Really nicely designed. It's like I always talk about iPhone games that are specifically designed for the screen and the interface, as opposed to trying to jam something else in there, which I'll talk about something later. Yeah, it seems really nice. I can't really give an opinion on it. Yeah, it's something to do with Simon Parkin as well, the Eurogamer guy. I'm sure he's had a hand in it. I think it's been made in Brighton anyway, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Both of these facts might not be true, but I'm sure he has something to do with it. Anyway, yeah, it seems really nice and it's been getting some good press.
How much is it?
69 pence.
Penneth, of course.
Yeah, nothing basically.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things about that, and it's one I just keep seeing people talking about it on Twitter, so I might have a look.
Yeah, it did seem good, but then my little boy decided he wanted to play too, and just then he stole my phone. So that's the end of that.
Fair enough. Okay, right. My number 9 is Mass Effect 3 on the Nintendo Wii U.
Let's see what you've been doing this week.
Exactly. There's a lot of EA stuff on this list, just so you know. It looks identical to Mass Effect 3 on the other platforms. Looks great. And I played a section of it, and it was exactly the same. You had to get used to the buttons because they were different. The what would they be? The distance between the 4 face buttons, they were a little too close for me, so I kept mistaking one button for the other, and it was a bit of a ball ache. But it looks stunning. It looks like Mass Effect 3, so it's a good-looking game. It was a section from the campaign that I played before. What I kept doing was running right into the action, waiting for as much stuff to happen, and then pressing the button that transports the game straight just to the pad.
Right.
You know, so you know the whole thing they're advertising. Your girlfriend comes in and wants to watch the TV, whatever. I just kept doing that to try and see it because but it works perfectly. I kept trying to trick it out, and the girl from BioWare
Really?
just kept laughing because it's so cool. I just kept like, and it just straight away on the screen.
That really is cool.
It is. I mean, it's not. There's a slight bit of motion blur because the screen's smaller primarily, but man, I didn't get tired of doing that because that is such a cool feature. I mean,
It really is.
Ultimately pointless, but yeah, if you haven't played Mass Effect 3, then this is a great excuse. It looks just as good as the other versions, and you can take it with you if you piss off somewhere.
Well, to the place you're already sitting, I guess.
Unless you want to get up and walk away and play while you're making a cup of tea or something, I don't know. But then
You can't go that far away from your thing.
I thought it was 90 feet. Did I just make that up?
I remember reading something where it was like you can maybe get into the next room if there's not much, if you've got like wooden walls or
Oh,
something.
fuck, I thought you could go upstairs and stuff.
You could maybe go straight above it because your it's more likely to be wood, isn't it? Yeah, because I know a lot about building houses, right? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see when we actually get hold of the bloody thing properly.
Indeed.
Right, my number 9 is Borderlands 2. It's over. Same thing that's happened with Borderlands 1. I can offer no analysis here. I put it on. Wanted to enjoy it. Played it for about 10 minutes, and I was just like, I just want to play one of the other games I've got in my cupboard. Way more than this. There's nobody to play it with co-op anymore. I can't organise it. So it's not. There's nobody to play. I can't organise that sort of scenario. You know, playing a proper multiplayer game, even if I'm not going to play as much as it, or you lot, and other friends, it's okay because you can jump in and everyone's kind of on a level pegging. You can get a few games in, but on a co-op game, everyone just scoots ahead, and I don't want to miss out a huge chunk of the story to join in with them. You're not on the same levels, all this sort of stuff. So if you can't organise it, it's difficult. And when I put it on, I was just like, I don't really love Borderlands. I kind of admire it, and loot and all that stuff, and the aesthetic and the graphics. They just don't grab me in the same way as games later on in my list have. And at this time of year, sometimes you have to make a sacrifice. And it just wasn't doing it for me. But like I said, it was not really to slate the game. I did need to play it on co-op, clearly. But the exact same thing happened with Borderlands 1 for me.
But you said playing it on single player was better than playing on co-op.
I was shut up. But I was really enjoying it when I was playing it, but that was because it came out before all these other games, and suddenly it doesn't look as good. Now these other games have come out, which I'll talk about later.
Okay, fair enough. So you were actually bailing on it altogether?
Yeah, I'm going to get my get as much money back on it as possible, and maybe go back to it one day. But
all right, fair enough. That's a shame. Okay, my number 8 is Battlefield 3 Aftermath. Again, I was at EA.
Is that Wii U?
No, it's not out on the. They're not bringing that out on the Wii U, are they?
I thought they were. Is this the new DLC?
The next map pack, themed expansion. Excuse my French. It's difficult to know what to say about it. It was on a map called Markaz Monolith, and it was like this completely dilapidated village. It wouldn't have been out of place in the Karkand map pack. Mm-hmm. So I forget where they say it's meant to be set, Iraq or somewhere like that. And it was good. The map was well designed as always. There was vehicles that I've seen before, so the new vehicles they're touting weren't there. It was great. I mean, it was Battlefield. It was not particularly. There's nothing stuck out. It was a well-designed map, as you'd expect, but I only had one game on it. I did play the new game type for about 5 minutes because they've got a new game type with it. What was it called? I can't remember. To be honest, this new game type, I feel for DICE because it seems like EA have said put a new game, new match type with every map pack. And if there was great game types, are not hard. They're very difficult to come by. Otherwise, every shooter would be completely different. And it kind of felt a little bit like they were sort of grasping at straws because it was, Gunmaster, where you get a kill and you upgrade to the next gun. It was that, but you find weapons as you're walking around. So you start with a pistol and one grenade. You run around. You find weapons on the floor. I couldn't work out whether they're specific to how far you'd gone or whether it was just random, but it seemed to, I don't think it's going to be a keeper, but you can't expect them to come up with gold every time,
Yeah, and everyone just wants to play the fucking vanilla types anyway, really.
Yeah, I mean, map packs would be good enough. And at the end of the day, I'm grateful, but it did feel like they were grasping at straws. It was like, come on, guys, walking around and finding random weapons. I mean, it's like FPSs from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, there will be people that might really love it, but yeah, it was a good map anyway.
Cool. My number 8 is Carmageddon on the iPhone.
I've got that. I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, I got it because it was free the day it came out.
Yeah.
And I never. Did you ever play Carmageddon back in the day?
I played it on the N64 because it got like 8% in a magazine.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I never played it. I always wanted to play it because I had an unhealthy obsession with sort of ultra violence at that age. But yeah, never played it. And I can't say that I've missed out on much. I think without the nostalgia factor and playing it on a touchscreen, it was a piece of shit, to be honest. Some people are saying it's good, but I thought it was a piece of shit. The worst bit about it is there's like a little, almost FMV of your little man inside the car at the top of the screen, and he makes these really disturbing facial expressions while you're driving around, like his eyes will bulge out or look really angry when he's shooting, and it just makes me want to vomit. It reminds me of Bad Influence or some other 90s stuff that just...
What, the James Spader film?
No, the fucking computer games TV show with Andy Crane.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, just that kind of like 90s pixelated shithouse. You drive around, you kill people, is completely tamed by today's standards. The controls are terrible on the iPhone. I just didn't like it. I'm glad it was free. I won't play it again.
So it's a straight port. It's not even an HD.
Yeah. I think it's definitely spruced up. It looks reasonably sharp, but it's like you seem to race around and then you can like kill the other cars or just kill people. The rules are a bit confusing, but. Yeah, having never played it before, it's got no place in my heart. So, yeah, compared to all other games, it's shit.
Ever made. Did it have the blood in it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, because there was different versions where the blood was green.
Yeah. No, it's the real deal.
That seems crazy then that they'd release it for free, considering how fast that news spread and everyone I know downloaded it just because. And then the word of mouth will get out. And
yeah, it's strange. I mean, you'd have to ask them if it worked or if it was good for business. But certainly it seems strange because, yeah, I've got it, but, you know, I'm just talking negatively about it and I've put no money in their pockets. So who knows? Maybe their plan was everybody would rave about it and then it would already be on sale properly. I don't know. Yeah. It's a strange one.
It is. I don't think I'll like it either, but I'll have a look in the week.
Yeah, it's free, isn't it?
Okay, my number 7 is Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Okay, I've got this in my house, but I haven't had a chance to play it because I didn't have time because of this patch that everybody's talking about.
Yeah. Is the patch going live over here on Friday, or is it today as well?
This I don't know. I saw... we're recording on Tuesday, by the way, but... yeah, I saw Jim Sterling in the States had to download his today, so it's certainly out there. But yeah, it still sounds pretty fucking broken by some of the stuff he's been tweeting today. Yeah,
to be fair, I mean, I've got a copy here as well, and I haven't had time either, and they sent me the wrong version. But I played it at EA last week when I played everything else, and I've got to be honest, the version that I played was broken as well. They did say it was a 2 to 3 month old build.
Right.
So, I mean, not drastically. So it crashed a couple of times. It froze one or two others. There was one match we played where everyone appeared as an enemy, so we were just running around all shooting each other and no one was dying.
Jesus.
But like they said, that was an old build. And you know what? I hope this patch has fixed it because I think it will be pretty good. It was never going to break the mould, and people are already loving laying into it. People are looking for any excuse to give that game a fucking kicking. But I enjoyed what I played. It was fun. It's solid. And there's one game type, and I forgot the fucking name of it, but it was really good. It was. It reminded me of a fighting game the way it worked, because you know when you're playing a fighting game and you master a really, really elaborate combo and you keep doing it to someone online.
Yeah.
The way that you end it. So say you do a massive combo and then you do a dragon punch. The next time you do the combo, he's expecting a dragon punch.
Yeah.
So that's why you go for the grab.
Yeah.
So, how best to describe this mode? It's similar to Search and Destroy in COD. So you've each got one life, and there's one objective. In this case, there's actually two objectives. There's two flags.
Right.
Attacking team, defending team, and the level is a bottleneck. Literally a bottleneck. You can't pass through this one area. So as soon as the game started, we were defending. We sprinted down to the bottleneck and just gunned the entire team down. End. Everyone's got one life, that's it, over. The second time we did exactly the same thing, ran down there, and within a second, pop, we all got sniped because they just hung back and sniped us all.
Okay,
So
I understand the analogy now.
Yeah, it's really the way you react to the previous round. It was really, really, really fun, and we really enjoyed it. And it works. I mean, it's not. I personally like where Call of Duty's gone, where it's now just perpetually stupid and big and. The one game that everyone says is the best is Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, which I thought was a bit too... It went after realism a bit too much, and this is going after that similar sort of feel. So if you think that was the best Call of Duty, this will probably appeal to you, and if you play games as a pair, because I do like the co-op dynamic of the multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm certainly going to give it a fair shake when I put it on later today or tomorrow. I like the first Medal of Honor for all that you could pick holes in it and talk about how cynical it is from a marketing point of view. Ultimately, it was good. The single player was good, and it was one of the few shooters of that style, even though it was vastly unoriginal, that actually had the balls to just put you on the level with only a few guys, and the levels weren't difficult. But my problem with military games is you always end up fucking killing about 10,000 guys, and there were levels in the first game we did that as well, but there were some where you just kind of stealthy, and they're almost, they weren't on rails, but they were fairly easy to play through, but they're quite atmospheric, and the single players on those games are just something to do before you stick multiplayer on, really. They're just there for the sake of it. So I'm up for hammering through it.
I have faith in the campaign. I haven't touched the campaign yet, but I'm with you. I enjoyed the first one, and I like the multiplayer on the first one, although that was DICE. And if they fix these issues that it's having, I think it could be. It's not going to be the blockbuster that people are thinking. Didn't the first Medal of Honor release in the spring?
No, it was September. September, yeah, I think it was September of that year. Yeah,
I could have sworn it launched way out of season, in March or April.
No, it was just before silly season, I think, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it did well, didn't it? It did very well.
Yeah. Well, now the pitching this, when you got COD coming, Halo, it is. Halo, I think it's going to be solid and perhaps much more than that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
see
next week.
Yeah. So my number 7,
yes,
is Hotline Miami, which I just read. Have you read the Eurogamer review yet?
What did they give it?
10.
I was going to say, did they give it 10?
Yeah, I just saw that just firing up on my Twitter feed while we were just doing whatever we were doing before we started the podcast. And I was like, all right, I'm going to see if this works on my fucking Abacus of a PC. And I just 10 out of 10, I'm going to buy it. And even if it doesn't work, I'll work out how to make it work later. But thankfully, it does work perfectly. And straight away, I can see how cool it is. The music's already amazing, I have to say. It sounds it sounds exactly how you'd think it would sound. Miami Vice style, synthy, electro stuff, but just done really well. And within 3 or 4 minutes, I'd understood the systems in the game. You just move with the WASD and move your little cursor around with the mouse. Dave did a really good job of explaining it on the podcast that he was on a couple of weeks ago, in fact. But already I can tell how cool it is, how you have to quickly, meticulously plan how you'll route through a room before you go in, burst through the door, try and kill this guy, jump, mount this guy, finish him off with your fist, quickly grab his crowbar, take this guy out, and then you got that moment before you go into the next room and do it all again. And I kept getting killed over and over and over, but I just wanted to instantly restart. Like I say, I only played it for maybe a quarter of an hour before the podcast started. So it seems awesome. And then when you see a score like that on Eurogamer, they've thrown a few 10s out this year, but if Eurogamer chuck a 10 out, I'm going to look at the game, whatever it is.
How much was it?
7 nugs, but it's only on PC at the moment.
Yeah, shit. I've got a PC laptop, and it could probably. It's quite a primitive game, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, mate, my graphics card is just enough to have icons on the screen. It's not a graphics card, so yeah, it'll be able to run it. It's Game Boy graphics, Game Boy Color graphics.
That's why I know what will happen is that as soon the Eurogamer 10 will probably get it a lot more attention, and they'll probably announce ports in a couple of weeks.
The thing is, already, then Dave said this on the episode he was on. Already, I can tell by the speed you have to react that you need the mouse. There's no way you could do it with a controller. Like when you play a first-person shooter, and you can quickly react when you're playing with a mouse compared to a pad.
Yeah.
So the thought of playing against PC users, if you're playing with a pad, you'd lose every time. You can already tell because it's all about reacting quickly and hitting them first. So it just you'll be able to see when you play it, but within 2 kills, I was like, yeah, this won't work as well on a pad because I could plug a pad. It's got 360 controller support on the PC, but. Yeah, straight away I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work on a pad, I don't think.
But you say that, how quick are your trigger fingers when you're on a pad? Pretty quick.
Yeah, but it's not about the trigger, it's about moving the cursor to hit the guy at the right time.
Oh, right,
quick.
Okay.
So if you could up the sensitivity to ridiculous levels, but you've got to be so accurate because you're moving in both axes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As opposed to just turning left and right. So it's like clicking on... like a whack-a-mole almost. I think he called it that. But yeah it's like sort of fast tactics. It seems so cool, and the aesthetic's awesome.
I've read so much about this and heard so much, and yet I still have no idea what it looks like. That's why I think I might just download it.
Yeah, the Eurogamer review is excellent. You can tell who's really passionate about it.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to make a mental note of that. Okay. My number 6 is Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yes.
I played campaign for about an hour and a half, and then for the best part of an hour, I played multiplayer with 7 other people. It's going, as we've said repeatedly, to be amazing.
Yes.
My problem is that I've done nothing. Over the past week and a half, I've done nothing apart from play Forza. And as I've said, Forza does nick so much of what Criterion did with the early Burnout games and what Paradise did, that I expected to leave there it didn't have the sucker punch effect that I expected.
Yeah,
it will. I know that it will. Because it struck me at the time, but after walking out there, I was having played it, I was like, wow, they really did nick so much of what they did. There were so many elements of not Hot Pursuit, what do I play? Most Wanted, that are in Horizon, and you don't know who came first and all that other stuff. I mean, you're just inclined to believe, did they pinch stuff from
speed cameras and stuff?
I know the idea of pulling up beside someone and flashing in lights. It was from Test Drive, so you could have a race with them. But the fact that you can take their car in Forza is sort of makes it vaguely similar to driving up to a car you see and then leaping straight in it. But having said that, it was superb. I loved the campaign. It was phenomenally great fun. I'd been up all night playing Forza the previous evening, so that's probably why it didn't grip me quite the same. I mean, I know it's going to, though. As soon as I get it, I'm going to regret ever having any lukewarm words to say about it. Although they're not lukewarm, it's.
I know what you're saying.
It really is superb, and the multiplayer. You haven't played multiplayer yet, have you?
No.
It's Burnout Paradise. So there's all
I've been
these.
reading about it.
Yeah, I mean, we did a couple of missions. There was one was just a straight race, and then one was we all had to collectively build this meter with all this air distance while we were doing all these jumps repeatedly. Just fun shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely superb. There's no doubt.
They don't fuck about.
They don't.
My Criterion catchphrase. They do not. They do not fuck about. Yeah, I'm very, very, very pumped about that game. As good as Forza is.
Yeah.
Which is weirdly my next game. So my next game is Forza Horizon. Played more after finishing my review, and just wanted to drive around that world again, just feel the physics of the cars. bought a faster car, a Nissan something. Forgive me, I don't know much about cars, and it was slightly too fast to handle for me. But it was good to felt like when I was driving it around, I was constantly on the edge of crashing it, and it does actually have terrible crashes in that game compared to Need for Speed. They're
not
no
even crashes. Yeah. It's like they're Tonka toys.
Yeah. So it is just about the racing experience, really. But it's such a good game. It's so good. People are going to love it. With Forza fans, I actually couldn't speak for them. I think they're going to be disappointed by elements, but Forza's only a year old, and it's still going strong. So, but as a game on its own, it's a tremendous job. But having played Need for Speed as well, I think eventually Need for Speed will overtake it for me, because it's got that kind of video gamey extra level of appeal that will win me over.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's gonna. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind the same thing. I think it's just because I've been playing so much of Forza that I just. Yeah, but part of the appeal was that I never had any idea that I would get this gripped by a driving game like Forza. I mean, I've liked them and appreciated them in the past, as we said last week, but this is different. But I'll talk about it more because it's further on my list.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much. I haven't played huge amounts. Probably played, good sort of 90 minutes of cruising. Really, I didn't do too much at the progression, but I just enjoy being in that world and driving those cars.
Yeah. Likewise. Okay, my number 5 is Dishonored.
Okay.
I haven't played it much. I've only done a very, very, very lengthy mission, which took about 2 to 3 hours. But it's still absolutely breathtaking. It really is. I don't think I mentioned this last week, but the cover system is the best cover system I've ever seen in a stealth game. I mean, admittedly, I don't play stealth games that much. I mean, people have been comparing this to Thief. Did you ever play those?
No. I unfortunately didn't.
No. So when I say stealth games, what I'm talking about predominantly is like console action games that have a lot of stealth in them. I mean, Splinter Cell, purist would say that's not a stealth game. But just the fact that in this, if you pin yourself by the touch of a single button, you pin yourself to cover and then you lean out. If you're leaning out, you don't get seen. Basically, in every stealth game I've ever played, at some point in every stealth game, you end up shouting, "How the fuck did he see me? There's no way that he saw me. Bullshit, that's bullshit." That has never happened here. There's been so many opportunities for the game to sort of reveal itself to be far less than the sum of its parts, and it has never done that. It's so effective. You're constantly skulking around in the darkness. Yeah. And when you get seen, you're like, of course, I'm an idiot. And it's I haven't had that in a stealth game ever. The illusion is so complete. I mean, honestly, it's as faultless, I think, as you could get. And that cover system, the stealth cover system. It's you get seen, it's not you're not doing the cover. I mean, if you're leaning out of cover, you can't be seen. Yeah. Done. If you move out of cover, it's great. It really is just.
It really is. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more a bit later, but it's a game to savour. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Like I say, I'll talk about it. It's down on my list. Yeah. But man, it's a crazy time, and there's been games in 2012 which have really crept up on me. This being one of them, and Forza and others early in the year, and games from funny places like Thomas Was Alone and stuff like that I would have never even knew existed. It's been a crazy year for games. Could go down as one of the all-time classics, depending on how the final big hitters turn out. True that. So my number 5 is Pro Evo. Don't really want to talk about it. Talked about it too much. Just been playing online. Still a problem with the second download, the summer transfer things. Fucking sort it out, Konami. I feel for that little guy in his room trying to fix it on his own. But it was Pro Evo. I like it. I don't want to bang on about it.
Okay, my number 4 is Pro Evo. 2013. Nothing to say on the same as you. Playing online, absolutely loving it. Just I love it.
Yeah, just pure drama.
Yeah. I mean, it's so great. It's so great. I can't even begin. Every time I play it with someone, like when I've played it with you, I'm just like, I can't believe how good this is. Yeah. There's room for improvement, but in comparison to other football games that I've played in the last few years, it is something else. But the "you are already logged in" thing, you must have had this.
Oh God, yeah.
You go to an online game and it says you're already logged in. Okay. Your only option is to back out, go back to the main menu. Okay, click it again. You already. I mean, how they haven't fixed
it's that. Poor
that.
Guy, it's just that guy. He's so busy.
I know it costs them money to do a patch and stuff, but that's just... I mean, you just have to sit there. I mean, 5 or 6 times, I think, is the standard amount of times you have to keep doing that over and over again. It doesn't...
And it intermittently tell you that the service is not available as well.
Yeah, I mean... And it's not a short process. It's a good few seconds every time. A few seconds. I said sometimes 20, 25. You know, when you're doing that 5 times on the trot just to play a game of Pro Evo, you're like, piss off. But it's great. Done.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So my number 4 is Dishonored. Just like you, I haven't had a chance to play that much because of work commitments and things. And just as I said before, it is a game that I really want to savour. It took me ages to do the first part of it, and I've moved into the next mission, and it's taken me even longer because I'm just... Every room that I go into, you know, you find some like high balcony and there's a room up there, and it's like every room tells its own story through the, you know, the detail in the room.
Shit that you find,
just you can even not necessarily even in the stuff that you read, which is quite good in its own, but just you kind of piece together what's happened in this room just by looking around. It's amazing art design. They call it mise en scène, don't they? It's an annoying way of talking, but it's kind of applicable here. Especially as they're French, aren't they? Are they French? Anyway. I think they are. But yeah, I mean, mechanically as well, I could rave about it and probably will do in a future podcast, and certainly agree with everything you said about the stealth, and certainly how, I mean, it made me feel completely immersed as this, not so much as this character, but kind of this entity in this world, you know, this assassin within this world. Not necessarily the fact he's called Corvo and he's talking to people, because to be honest, when I'm talking to people in the sort of semi-cutscene things, I'm struggling to kind of pay attention to what they're saying, even though I can get in the general gist of the story. Sometimes I just feel myself drifting off a little bit, and I'm thinking, maybe I don't like Dishonored that much, but then I'll go back into the world itself and start playing it, and that's where the real stories start to happen for me, when, you know, just playing with the guards and seeing what's happened in this world and piecing it all together. Just marvellous stuff. Absolutely marvellous.
It's the same with Bioshock, though. I think there's stretches of Bioshock that were not... I mean, when you were dealing with NPCs and they were talking to you for long stretches, it was not... You know, I found my mind wandering as well. But it matters just as little in this, because it's all about... I mean, I can't wait to get to the end of it, because I want to, A, go back and do it again, and B, just assess if it really is as perfect as it appears to be after... I mean, I've played it for fucking ages now. I mean... 10, 12 hours, and I haven't even got very far. It's just... But that's never happened to me before. Games like that don't come along. They don't interest me so much that I piss around on the sidelines and take everything very slowly. So, I mean, is it as good as it appears? I think so. But
yeah, it does seem that way.
I can't wait to find out at the end.
It's another one that I'll talk about, another game like this later, but it's a game that I'm glad I didn't have to review, specifically. I didn't have to do a review on that one, because it would have... I'd have ended up playing the game in a way that I didn't want to play it in order to do it, because there's only so many hours you can put on a review, really. And yeah, I just feel kind of lucky in that respect, that I'm able to play it as just a gamer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're even vaguely interested, if you do plan on getting Dishonored, if you're one of those people that buys games, you want to blitz through it and then trade it in for something else, don't do it with this. If you can't afford to shell out 40 quid for it, wait until it's cheaper, but do get it, because damn, it's good.
Yeah, damn.
I just really wish I had that drug in Judge Dredd where everything slows down. You could just
have loads of time to play more video games.
But you play Dishonored in slow motion as well. It doesn't make sense. Forget I ever said it.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. Right, my number 3 is XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Okie dokie.
I assume that's on your list as well.
It is my numero uno.
Numero uno, okay. I might save the discussion for then. I mean, it is great. I don't think it's perfect, and there's problems that I have with it that other people don't seem to have had. But it really is pretty damn special despite those problems.
So what are the problems, or do you want to save that for the?
Yeah, okay, fuck it. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it when you get to number 1. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay, my number 3 is a game called True Skate on the iPhone. it's a little 3D skateboarding game where you control the skateboard with your finger, and it has realistic physics. And it's just been the game that I've been putting on whenever there's a spare 5 minutes here and there. It took me a while to get my head around it first, but now I can just skate around this park, do little ollies and kick flips into grinds and stuff, and it's really tactile and satisfying. Looks nice on a decent iPhone. It's £1.49, so it's a little bit more expensive, and that sounds so expensive for an iPhone game, but in reality it's fuck all. And just a real cool game. I'd imagine other people who've played it will think the same.
Wow. How much? £1.49?
Yeah, so it sounds like, oh my god, how could I ever afford that? But you actually think about it rationally, and it's nothing.
What prompted you to shell out for it, though?
I think someone mentioned it on Twitter. Standard shit. You know, when you're just sitting there, and certainly for me, I get up early with my little boy sometimes, every other day, and I've got a few hours before I start work where he's piddling about watching TV and stuff, and I've got my phone to save me from the hell of CBeebies. And so I go through Twitter, and if someone mentions a game, I'm like, well, I could do gaming something right now. So that's how I always end up with these weird iPhone games. A little insight into my life. But and this was a perfect example of one of those times, as was that Kumo Lumo. But that's how I ended up finding out about it and downloading it.
Cool story, bro.
Thanks, bro.
I'll play it on your phone at some point down the line, maybe.
There you go. That's never going to happen. I'm never going to whip my phone out and play. Remember when I talked about True Skate 3 months ago? You should definitely play that.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look. If that ever happens, I'll have a look.
All right.
Okay, my number 2 is NBA 2K13.
I'm hearing great things.
I mean, those games are just stupidly good. They're FIFA good. The fact that EA, they had their reboot of, what is their franchise called? The
NBA Live, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that that's kind of... have they canned it?
They canned it again, yeah.
It makes complete sense, because they're being asked to climb a mountain, because this is at FIFA levels of greatness, and if you love basketball, it's far beyond that. They are ridiculously good every year. They are ridiculous. I mean, my favourite one was 2K11, the one that was the Michael Jordan edition.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
Oh yeah.
I love the way it started with when you were walking up. Everything about it was just buzzing, and they had those Jordan moments where you had to sort of replicate.
So good.
Oh, I mean,
I love basketball as well. So
see, I'm not a massive fan, so. I'm not a purist, but even if you're not, and the presentation is just amazing. It looks incredible. The amount of detail that goes into it to make it look like a TV broadcast, and all of any sports game, any excuse to kind of keep the crowd in the background, and they've got mascots running around, and they've got all that. So it's just the amount of work that goes into making it look incredible is amazing. I mean, it does look. I mean, people say this every year, and if you ever watch video reviews of these games on YouTube or something like that, they always say it looks like a TV broadcast, but it does. It looks like you're watching a fucking basketball game on TV.
They've always been great, those games. The first one I played was 2K on the Dreamcast back at uni, and that was superb. It just pissed on all other basketball games from great height, and they've just never really dropped their standards, and now they're just a joke. I mean, 2K, Borderlands is a big game, Xcom's a big game, or whatever, but the amount of money they put into that fucking game. In this country, it doesn't get the press because it's basketball, but that really is their tentpole game.
Yeah, I mean, it's stunning. It is stunning. But every year they do something new. Like the Michael Jordan one was great with the Jordan Challenges. Last year they did they were the same thing as Jordan Challenges, but they weren't restricted to Michael Jordan, and they had they went to all this trouble of some of them were really old players, replicate what happened in this game, and they made the games look like old TV broadcasts. I was like, the fucking amount of work they've put into this year. It's the primary new edition is they've done, what's it called, My Player, something like that.
It's like the RPG mode.
Sorry, not My Player. What am I thinking of? It's My Something, and it's basically an approximation of Ultimate Team for FIFA, which is
right.
Expected. That mode's been so stratospherically successful that they'd be mental not to try and take it off. They've done, and there's a new control scheme which you can turn off because it changes the way you do everything. It's based entirely around the right thumbstick, and it's very, very difficult to master. I was using it for random moves that I could mark. But I mean, doing the whole thing on that stick, I don't know how many people will do that. It's a really hardcore. It's primarily for the hardcore, but you can still use it at the same time as using the face buttons, so that's fine. Right. They've changed the dunk shots that you used to do. Where you had to use, you just keep jumping up and doing dunks, but you'd have to waggle the joystick. Now there's like a rock band corridor of
You mean
buttons.
for the slam dunk contest?
Yes, that's right, slam dunk contest. Yeah. So they've added like a rock band thing, pressing the buttons. There's also
pretty good.
The game is incredible. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's no surprise, as I said, that EA backed out because they can't. I mean, it's asking a lot for a team to fucking compete with it. And
too right.
I didn't play the last one online that much, but I hear the netcode was a little bit fucked, and I played a few games the other day online with this, and it was fine. It's just great. If you like basketball and you're not playing this, you're off your fucking nut. Get it. Have you heard about the shoe thing, by the way?
No.
I don't know if this applies in outside of America, but there's this really, really in-depth new shoe creation feature. You can design your own shoes.
Right.
And in America, if you design your own shoes, you can then send them off to Nike or whoever, and they'll make the shoes in real life, which is just completely mental. I don't know if it works over here, but
that's just nuts.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, there's something quite tempting about that, and it's so involved. I had a look at it, and I was like, my God, because basketball fans love fucking trainers, don't they?
Yeah.
So people
hand in hand, foot.
Exactly. I'm sure that's going to fucking fly for them, but.
That is actually good. When you first said it, I was just like, that's cool. But thinking about it, that could actually be pretty cool.
I might even do it myself if I knew that it would work over here. I mean, I know that it's definitely Nike doing it. In the game, you can pick all sorts of other footwear manufacturers, but Nike are the ones that are doing it in the States, I think. Right. Aside from that, Jay-Z, it's executive produced by Jay-Z. It just means that he's picked the soundtrack and that he appears in some pre-match cutscenes that are basically 30-second music videos that are predominantly in-game footage. But it gives it a little bit of a sense of event, which it's just. I mean, it's fantastic. They always are. What can you say? You can't say nothing more than
that. Yeah. I'm very excited. I will play it.
Genuine.
Definitely. My number 2 is Resident Evil 6.
Still, fair play.
Yeah, I finished Chris's campaign. I just decided to do all of that one for some reason. I was compelled to do it, and it is a baffling video game. A game that jumps from moments of pure brilliance, like amazing moments, to moments where you think, I cannot believe this made it through QA. Like, I can't fucking believe that this is in a fucking AAA video game. It's that shit. The last chapter is baffling how shit it is. It's completely spectacular, the stuff that happens. It looks incredible. But purely from a functional point of view, it's just so unbelievably shit that I can't, even just thinking about it now is just making me feel exasperated. Now, there's moments during the last boss where you just have no ammo, and it's like it is a boss that you need to constantly shoot, and there is no ammo, and it's like maybe way further back in the chapter, if you collected enough ammo and stabbed all the people at the beginning, that you could have just had about enough ammo to do it. But no. So I ended up having to do the whole fucking thing with a knife, and it took forever, and it was an absolute nightmare, and it was miserable. I turned it off, just one of the worst game experiences I've ever had. This came just after an amazing not a set piece, but just like sequence, I guess you'd call it, where I don't know if you've got this far in Chris's one, but you come across this new enemy type, and honestly, I mean, body horror stuff really kind of turns my stomach a bit, like the original The Thing and things like that. That really gets me, and there's these creatures in this just fucking freak me out, man. People say it's not a horror game, but that moment, that's horror to me. One of the creepiest 40-minute sequences I played in a long time. Creepier than anything in Dead Space for me.
Did you get creeped out? I remember feeling really weirded out by those guys, the torso muscle men with the spider bodies on the bottom, holding their machine guns.
Oh god, yeah.
I was really like, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Yeah.
And they're still on the roof crawling around with spiders. Yeah, all of them, everything, all the mutations are amazing. Yeah, and like all of Chapter 3 was brilliant. There's a brilliant boss fight, and I just can't. It's just like I really wish they just, had an editor come in and just cut all the shit and just condense it all into one. Still have all the characters, but condense all of this game into one focused 15-hour game instead of 25-hour game, and just cut the shit. Because when it's great, it's fucking great. But,
I agree with that.
I don't want to fucking feel like I felt at the end of that game playing anything.
I agree with you. It would have been better as a shorter game, but every time I've thought what you've thought, like I've got no ammo, how am I supposed to defeat a boss? Is this a shooter? Is this really a shooter? Is it a survival horror? What the fuck's going on in your head? I always found a way around it. Was there not a turret or something?
No, you go online and everyone's like, this is an absolute joke. Like, if you play on co-op, it's alright because I don't want to spoil, but there's a reason why it's alright if you can play on co-op. But on single player, if you're playing as Chris, it's a joke. And everyone went through forums because I couldn't do it, and I switched it off and went to bed and ended up reading exactly how you're supposed to do it. Because also if you don't know how to do it, it's just you wouldn't have a fucking clue. Which is fine when you've got bullets and things to experiment with, but when you have no options. Oh, honestly, mate, it's just like it's becoming like a notoriously shit bit.
Are there any bits that measure up to how shit that is in the rest of the game?
Yeah, the whole preceding sequence is fucking shit as well. It's like a running away from monster sequence, but quite a lot. You have to press B at certain sections to link up with your partner. There are bits where you have to get hauled out by him, so you're hammering B and. You've done it the second it appears on screen, but the monster just kills you. Instant death, and you have to do the whole thing again. That happened over and over and over again. And then this was just before this boss. Honestly, I've still not decided what... I mean, thank God I didn't have to review it, because God knows what sort of number I put on it, because that makes me never want to play it again. But the bit before it made me want to play it ahead of anything else.
So what are you going to do then?
I don't know. Well, I did Chris's campaign now. It's done. So... I'm probably not going to play it for a while, and then I'll do Leon's, and then see if I've got the stomach for the third one and the fourth one.
Yeah, the Jake one's the iffiest of the bunch.
Yeah,
it still has its moments, but it's definitely the least consistent one.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do all four, but I'll see. Yeah. I'll see when it flows. It's an awesome game. Yeah, it's no 4, but 4's a 10. It's a classic 10 out of 10 game. So. This is like a hovering 7 and 8 when it's good. That's still worth playing. But yeah, fuck me, that last bit. Hellish.
Okay, cool. I need to go back and finish it, get it all done. I'm quite far through each campaign, but I haven't done the end of either. Any, I should say. But yeah, I'll do that. Okay, my number 1 is Forza Horizon, by quite some distance.
You've really been putting the time in.
I love it. I love it so much. It's kind of similar to the way I felt about SSX at the beginning of the year, but that kind of created an atmosphere of community by actually there being a community there. Whereas this, I like the hippiest atmosphere and like just yeah. But they nicked that from Criterion because Criterion have that, and the radio DJs and everyone's in such a buzzing, happy mood, and there's something very, very Moorish about it, and the racing mechanics are phenomenal and. Nothing seems repetitive, although you're just racing around the sort of the same parts. I mean, the world actually, having said that, is massive. So even when I've gone around parts of the world that I've done already, I don't feel like... Have you driven around at night?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's amazing when you drive in the direction of the hub of everything.
Yeah.
And there's like a concert going on and there's strobe lighting and fireworks and stuff. It's just like
that's amazing.
Every time that game does look fucking absolutely state of the art. Even though it's on an Xbox, which a lot of people say is fucking the fact that it can still do stuff like that means that there's still life in it, and we'll discover that when everyone's busy buying the next generation of consoles. But I absolutely love it at this point. I'm trying to race through it to get. I want to try and max it out and finish the game before Need for Speed comes out.
Right.
Because
I don't think I'll have time to do that. But...
No, honestly, every night before bed, I stick it on and I have a few races. I like it. I like the way it's. It is just a fucking great game. It really is. I even like the soundtrack.
Yeah, I like the soundtrack.
But not because I like the tunes on it, because normally soundtracks in games, you know that they were picked by a bunch of guys wearing suits I mean, there's stuff. It feels like kind of organic. I might be wrong, but
no, it feels like the music of this festival that you're a part of within the game. And even though I wouldn't listen to a lot of those tunes on my own, even the dubstep and stuff like that, I thought it was good. It made me feel like I was there, and that's what I should be listening to, and it just added to the atmosphere.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that the guys that made it had some input as well. I was driving along. I remember I was listening to a song. Was it Björk? No, I don't think it was. It was something very, very eccentric, and then the Stone Roses came on. I was like, this is just, and you're cruising along, and just a gorgeous background and stuff. I'm just like, this is the only way it could be better is if it was actually real life.
Yeah.
But it is great. I mean, even if you don't like Forza, and I know a lot of people don't because it's had this very, very straight-laced, and it's had fucking Jeremy Clarkson in it.
Yeah.
This is a different thing altogether, and I kind of starting to feel bad as much as I love it for Criterion, because I do think it's pinched a bit, and it's just great. I like the fact that they've kept to the tradition of having one character who's got the most. Any film or game that's got anything to do with cars has got one character who's got the stupidest name of all time, or the most appropriate name.
What, you mean the main guy? What's he called?
Darius Flint.
That's right.
And he's so cool. He spells Flint with a Y. It's just like, gee,
Darius Flint.
Darius Flint. Bad
boy.
I mean, but in every car racing game, there's a character. Fast and the Furious, fucking even Tom Cruise. And what's Tom Cruise's name in Days of Thunder?
I don't know.
Oh, Cole Trickle. What fucking name is that? If there's a car in a game or a movie, somebody's got the. It's not necessarily a twattish name, but a driving film name. But yeah, Darius Flint. But Forza Horizon, incredible game, just incredible.
Yeah, real. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did.
Obviously, it didn't come out of nowhere, but in terms of my perception, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
Number one for me is, as we said, XCOM: Enemy Unknown, which I mean, I have never been a huge fan of turn-based games, not because I didn't like them, but because I just never played them. I assumed that I wouldn't like them before I played Advance Wars a few years ago. It turns out I did, but still never found one that wasn't Advance Wars to play. Never bothered to try, to be honest. Yeah. And about a month before XCOM came out, I suddenly had this feeling that it was really going to be for me, and I think it was just reading some of the preview coverage and some of the when people tweet when it's before embargo, so they have to keep it really ambiguous.
Yeah.
But some of those tweets, I was like, this sounds like it might be up my street, and it fucking is, man. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I'm probably, I think, about a third of the way through the campaign. Apparently, it's massive, but yeah, I'm just having so much fun. Some of the stories that have happened within the battlefield now that the AI has stepped up and it's doing stuff like suppressing me and flanking me properly and throwing different things at me, so just some of the fucking stories, man, that have happened. Just all my team, my A team, my fucking guys have been there since the beginning, just getting crushed, losing Nigel Benn, which is a fucking sad moment, man, honestly. And then my brother was lying bleeding out on the floor, and my captain, my major Henderson, had to kill people and jumping over things and shotgunning people. And obviously this is happening turn-based, but it kind of feels like it's not. When you get so into it, it almost feels organic, like it's actually happening in a Halo sort of way almost. And then I'm really getting into the base building stuff as well, the sort of push and pull of, do you help this country, do you help this country, do I put my resources in here? I thought that would be the bit that turned me off, but I'm actually getting into that as well. But it's those moments on the battlefield where the tactics and all the ideas come together, and oh man, when your troops panic and they freak out and they freak your other troops out, and it just gets me excited thinking about it, and I never thought I'd ever feel like that about a strategy game.
Yeah, I'm more or less in the same boat. It is a tremendous game, and it's the one, aside from Advance Wars, it's the one turn-based strategy game that I'd say to anybody, even if they think they're not interested in it, just try it.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the demo, so I don't know if that's a good indication of what you get. Although, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that the resource management part of it is like half the game.
Yes.
And I wasn't quite prepared for that.
Right.
And although it explains itself quite well during the opening hour or so, the stabilizers come off after that, and I was just kind of lost. And there was, I knew what everything was, and I knew broadly what I had to do. But for example, I've lost Canada now. I lost Canada hours ago because they withdraw funding if you don't protect them.
Yeah.
And it kept saying, put a satellite there, and then every time I get my scientists to build a satellite and then put it over there, and they'd be like, you need to build an uplink, and I was pissing around for ages trying to figure out how I did that.
Right.
And a lot of the time in the menus is in-game time as well. If you move around too much,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end that's it. They've withdrew funding. They're done. And I'm like, fuck. Because I felt that the game didn't really go out of its way to show me exactly how everything worked, and I tried looking for help or anything, and that was a little bit frustrating. It is a PC game at heart, and that means that it's unforgiving. I mean, we play console games predominantly, and we are used to having our hands held a little bit. If you don't keep up with this, it will fucking run away and leave you to die.
Yeah.
You have to be on the same page as it constantly, and that was really refreshing. But having said that, I mean, I know people have said that you can play it for 10, 12, 15 hours and then effectively lose at the end of all that. I kind of want to do that so I can start again.
I'm okay with that. If that happens to me on my playthrough, I'm okay with that.
The levels are randomly generated, aren't they?
Yeah, I think sort of semi-randomly generated, so there's like specific missions that happen every single time you play through. I don't know how strict those maps are, but I think the enemy placements are still random, and then I think the stuff like the abductions that come in are more randomly generated.
Yeah.
So there's like a certain sort of bunch of like tile styles or whatever, and it'll randomly generate the scenery and the enemy placements and the enemy types and things like that, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think it's pretty different every time you play through.
Yeah, I mean that's it's yet another bastard game that just wants me to lose my life to it, and I just don't have the fecking time to do that.
The thing that's really, everyone talks about it, but that has got me is the attachment that you get to your soldiers. Did you put the download code in so you can customise their armour and stuff like that?
I don't think I did. No.
It's an online pass basically, but all it gives you is the option to change the colour and change the. There's a couple of different armour types. You can give them like Halo style helmets and stuff. So you could go up with this like band of Power Rangers basically, the guys in electric pink and things like that. And yeah, just like I said, you died. Another friend of ours died very quickly, but I've had like Roger Gracie, one of the greatest jiu-jitsu fighters ever, died in his first mission, in his first turn of his first mission. Disappointing.
Yeah.
But my sniper Horatio Ducher, he's out there repping hard. Nigel Benn, he will be missed.
R.I.P. I like the little the memorial bit you can go to where you can see with the bagpipes playing and stuff.
Yeah.
That reminded me of the end of what's that game? How can I not remember what it's called? The game with the little soldiers walking around. All-time classic. Cannon Fodder. That's it.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jules and Jobs going on the screen. That was great. Reminded me a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a fantastic game. And with regards to characters, I mean, it's funny how you single some out and you're like, when I started, I was like, you're my boy. Fat Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm like, you're my boy. He's my guy. And then I had Dennis Rodman and I had Fat Marlon Brando. Like,
you really named it?
Yeah, you've got to change the names.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Brando, Lieutenant DiCaprio, and all that.
Nice.
Almost exactly what happened to your guy. Fat Leonardo DiCaprio just walked out into the field and got fucking slaughtered straight away. And I was like, he was my geezer. I was going to get behind him and stat him up and just. But now I've just snuck behind Dennis Rodman, my boy. He's there to stay.
He's your man, is he?
He's there to stay.
Dennis Rodman's a good one to have in the team, actually.
Yeah, he's the bad boy. So yeah, it's a fantastic game, but I think it's very, very. You have to be on the ball, and you have to be prepared to fail the first time out, I think.
Yeah.
There were a couple of technical hitches. From what I can tell, the console versions are almost exactly the same as the PC one, but I've been on a couple of levels where, because you can move levels of ground, so I can send a squad mate in on ground level, I can send someone into a building on the first floor, and then I can send someone onto the roof, and you can skip between them, but sometimes it doesn't quite work, and it sketches out a little bit, and the perspective gets irritating.
I've had a few moments where I've gone up with my medic and gone to go and heal someone, and he's just faced the wrong way and squirted his spray into thin air, which was immensely frustrating.
Yeah.
But I couldn't work out if that was me doing it wrong or if that was the game. But I have heard there's a few little bugs and things, so there might be a little patch.
Oh yeah, they're minor. They're definitely minor. But I mean, when you're trying to strategize and you can't seem to see where you're going or understand, it can get a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
As I said, the resource management stuff's not spelled out to you, which is something that a lot of people are going to love, particularly people who play PC games. But I was just like, a little bit more information would have probably helped me out. And I don't like Fog of War. In any turn-based strategy game, Fog of War, I'm just like, I don't. It's. I think it's lazy.
I like it in this because it means I don't know what's coming.
But that's it. I don't like being asked to strategize against something that may or may not happen. There has been situations in this. I was playing a game yesterday, and I did everything within my power. I thought I was acting tactically soundly, completely, but out of the shadows, some guy kills me straight away. I'm like, well, I couldn't have done anything to stop that. That's why Fog of War, when in Advance Wars, the Fog of War maps, I hated because you do everything within your power to succeed, and then someone will nip out of the fog and kill you in one shot, and it's just like, I can't. There's not a lot I could have done about that.
So I genuinely don't mind it in this because I like the mystery and I like having to prepare for any possible eventuality.
Have you been killed in one shot?
Not my stat. I mean, my major is I send her out. She's an assault, so I send her out into the fog of war, and I know that even if she gets set upon, she's going to be able to survive that first encounter because she's so tough, and most of the time she can take people out with a shotgun. So she's like my scout basically, and she'll go in, and then I'll send one person like a rookie up to back her up to go and have a look around. And yeah, I've been set upon, and I've lost a couple of rookies that way, but that's what they're for.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, I know that the levels, I checked afterwards, and that level where I got killed in one hit was like a very hard one because the difficulty varies.
Yeah.
But it was just the Fog of War. It's never sat well with me. I'm just like, let me make a strategy and build an attack rather than just getting fucked at the last second because, But
it would be a very, very different game without it.
I think probably a better game. That's my opinion. I mean,
I disagree on that one, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay, but for all of my issues with it, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since a console game. I mean, when was the last? Has there ever been a turn-based strategy game on a console that's even been competent, let alone this good?
There's not even one I can even think of.
No, me neither. Advance Wars aside, or what are the other advanced
handheld stuff like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. That's it.
As well, but I think we were both talking about the main two consoles.
Yes.
Equivalent previous generations of.
And I can't think of an example.
I can't.
I mean, it's terrific with very, very mild reservations, but primarily it's just a fucking great game.
Yeah, and I know there's more cool stuff coming later because I accidentally read about it as well, like some of the upgrades that you can get when you start researching. Hot damn, what a game.
Yes, indeed. Well, hot damn, what a load of games. There's been some gleam on this list. Thank you very much for listening. The usual shit about checking the website, I don't know why you do that. The Facebook, Twitter, why would you do that either? I don't know. Yeah. Or what is that place? App?
Stitcher.
That was it. Yeah. Check Stitcher.
It's on Stitcher.
You have a laugh.
And if you listen to the podcast and you like it, thank you very much. And tell someone, tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell 5 friends. Get them to listen to it. Then you can talk about it yourselves. It would be amazing. And if you don't want to do that, that's absolutely fine. And you don't even have to listen to me. But thank you for everything.
Yes, indeed. Fair point. Thank you very much. See you next week, hopefully. But next week it's going to be all about Model of Honor?
Model of Warfare.
Model of Warfare on Fighter and Halo 4 predominantly, but other stuff obviously. But yeah, see you next week, hopefully.
Let's do it.
The spot, eh?
It better. Or, I don't know, why we are here.
We're here because Z, First Mate, for shortness herself, has ordered us to
We are here to dig up a treasure.
I hope it'll be a big one.
We'll see.
Shut your traps and start digging.
We'd better stop before he decapitates us.
I'm much more likely to eviscerate you. Get to work, you scrubs.